I was married for quite some time, and you too nosy. Look at
I'm very
he all in my business.
nosy.
It might be a thing out there watching now. Well, I didn't just wake up one day. I knew I was getting ready to leave. I had already planned the exit strategy.
Oh, wow.
Women, y'all gonna have to come back for that one. It was already a few months. I already knew.
Oh, really?
I'd already start shifting.
Bank
Y'all go,
accounts.
listen, I don't want to get attacked on the internet.
You
but
going
yes,
to.
he never paid attention to Matt that I was speaking less and less and less because I was strategically moving in a different way. It wasn't another man.
You made him his last meal.
His last meal, the day he had to go. And washed his clothes and had it all packed downstairs. Do not air this.
Oh.
You can air it.
That's like a Tyler Perry movie.
The pastor, I know.
Ex-husband, you guys had a kid together or no?
We didn't.
No?
We didn't, but I did have a baby, and that's her papa. And one thing I will say is I commend him for that, because when we split, he never left her life. Because when I got pregnant with her, God told me that he wasn't my husband. And I just broke the relationship off. And so
While you're pregnant? Particular niche of people you speak to, or
yeah, so of course it's the merge, right? It's the people that they still are faith-based, but they have businesses.
Okay.
That their ministry is their business. Their ministry is in the marketplace. And so that's how they help the kingdom of God by what? By helping people produce wealth, helping people have products that people need, services, whatever the case may be. And so as it relates to them, that's my niche. It's the people that you're probably here, so you're at one level, but you're ready to take it up a notch, but you love God. And how can I pull God into the very thing that without first compromising it and without losing it? Because you don't have to do one or the other. Some people want you to let go of all of this in order to do this, but I can merge them beautifully into a marriage. And so
okay, that's scary right there. I'm gonna just be honest, because when you say you can merge God and you can just merge the world together, that's kind of dicey. If you're going to be faith-based, you need to be faith-based. You're going to have to leave certain things behind. Don't feel like you're in a FOMO situation or a YOLO situation. I think that's where a lot of religious people, to me, become backsliders, because they want to be still in the world opposed to just being locked into religion.
So I'm that person that helps you, hey, let's bring them both together and get the best of both worlds.
Ooh. Speaking of marriage, have you been married before?
I have.
Okay. Are you currently married?
I'm not.
Okay.
I was married for quite some time, and you too nosy. Look at
I'm very
business.
nosy.
It might be a thing out there watching now.
There we go. You right here. You about to catch.
Now you supposed to be a religious pastor, coach, or whatnot, but you talking about be a thing watching. I already can tell this woman on demon time.
Him. You about to merge him into your life, like you said.
Listen,
you about to hear.
I was married for a while, for a couple years.
Okay.
Almost a decade. So yeah.
One marriage, two marriage?
Just one.
And how long have you been separated or?
Divorced for 4 years now.
Okay. And then, go ahead, continue, sorry.
No, just woke up one day and I didn't just wake up one day. I knew I was getting ready to leave. I had already planned the exit strategy.
Oh, wow.
Women, y'all gonna have to come back for that one.
Hold up. So, okay, hold up. How long before you took the exit was your exit strategy in place?
Oh man, it was already a few months. I already knew.
Oh really?
I'd already start shifting.
Bank accounts.
Y'all go, listen, I don't want to get attacked on the internet.
You
but
going
yes,
to.
I had already started shifting everything that I needed to shift. One thing that men have to realize when you're paying attention to a relationship, it's not when a woman is talking that you worry. It is when she begins to go quiet that you really get scared, because now she's moving different. I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know what she's doing. And in the process, he never paid attention to Matt that I was speaking less and less and less because I was strategically moving in a different way. It wasn't another man. And I was finding myself more in the feet of God than I was in the presence of him. And it had nothing to do with, because a lot of people are like, oh, you must be with somebody else. Nope. I began to start going to the gym. He didn't pay attention to that shift. I began to spend less, and I was you heard me talking more about investing and shifting, and never paid attention.
Ma'am, it sounded like you was becoming the man that you wanted to have. It sounds like you were investing more. You started going to the gym. You weren't telling him all this stuff. If you were supposedly at the feet of God, you should have been trying to salvage your marriage and fix it. It's till death do us part, ma'am.
to the subtle moves. So it was happening, and he was living in the process of it and never even caught it.
Wait a minute. Okay, so let me ask you this. During that process, right, of your shift, you're making all these moves. What was the dynamic in the house between you two? Was he still waking up in the morning, hey, babe, have a good day, kiss on the cheek, whatever? Or was it sleeping in a different bed?
I still did my part.
Man. Come on, bruh. Come on.
Listen,
what?
the day he had to leave, I cooked breakfast in bed.
Oh, you toxic. Hold up. We need to talk about the toxicity here. Hold up. What? Where was the communication that women...
The thing about how she can just laugh about it right now is if it's just cool. I did everything I was supposed to do. And you know what? This woman has not mentioned anything about him being on the side of infidelity. She didn't mention it. I think this woman just... Bro, a lot of these women will fall into religion to try and combat their bad habits, and they'll use religion to say that I did this because God told me to do this, so I did it. No, ma'am, you just a bad person, and you freaked out. I'm pretty sure this woman is freaked out. I mean, any woman that got a neck that thick, bro, I'm just gonna be honest. If she got a neck that thick, she possibly on demon time.
Well, where was all?
Listen, I was still doing. Listen, as a wife, I was still doing what I was supposed to do as a wife, and so. Yeah, the dynamics in the house.
You made him his last meal.
His last meal, the day he had to go. And washed his clothes and had it all packed downstairs. Do not air this.
Oh.
You can air it.
Wow.
That's like a Tyler Perry movie.
The pastor, I know. Listen.
Okay, and so then after a few months passed, all this stuff happened, you cook him dinner, all that. What was the reaction of him? Like, was he shocked? Obviously shocked, but...
Yeah. But here's the thing, it wasn't a sudden attack.
Yeah.
I had already told him the month before. I said, hey, on this day, you have to go.
Oh.
So I told him,
okay.
I gave him 30 days, and I said, hey, this day you have to go. But because I was still doing everything that a wife does.
He thought it was cool.
He thought it was a joke. And because I had never left before. But I had already spent my time in prayer. Remember, I told you I was at the feet of God.
Yeah.
And so I'd already got permission because in the church world, divorce is like death.
Yeah.
It's like, wait,
to.
God can't use you if you. So I had already asked. I had already told God. I said, listen, I'm getting ready to make the biggest decision in my life, and I will not do it without you. So I need your clarity on this, that I'm making the right move. And so that is when it didn't come right away. It took me I sat on the side of the bed 30 days straight, and I would just put my head down and say, God, I'm still waiting for your answer. And then when he said, if you go or if you stay, I'll honor it. And then he said this, if you stay, you cannot mistreat him, because what's the point of staying with somebody while making them miserable at the same time? And so I decided that I wanted my peace more than I wanted the marriage.
Wow.
I'm going to say this real quick. I know we got a lot of religious people in this group, and that's cool. Religion is cool. But did God exactly say those words to you, or did you formulate that thought? Just being on, I just got to be 100% objective to this. I had a lot of people trying to come at me about me feeling how I feel about religion, the whole nine. But I know a lot of women that I'm telling y'all that use God to justify their bad decisions or their bad habits. I'm telling y'all can sit here and say that God told her this, the whole nine. But like I said, I know a lot of people that use religion to justify their bad habits.
Wow. Okay, let me ask you this. When those moments come, right? Like you said, edge of the bed and somebody spoke to you, is it a voice?
I know the voice of God because I
too.
walk with him. It's almost like if I talk to you all the time, I know how you sound. You could be in a crowd of people, and I would distinctly know that that's not you talking. We all have a voice image. I know what you would say, and I'm like, nah, that don't. Have you ever heard somebody say that don't sound like him, or that don't sound like something?
Yeah, that don't sound like Lorraine.
Because we know the voice, and so God will come to you in a voice that's common to you. It could be, so we have our voice, God's voice, the enemy's voice, and the voices of everybody else, crowds, our core, and our circles, right? Different people. But you have to be able to quiet all of those. And sometimes it'll come by way of somebody coming to you and just saying something random that they wouldn't even know you were praying about. It can come with something you read. It can, because see, God can speak through anything. If he can make, the Bible says that I can make the rocks cry out. Imagine who he could use or what he could just, something could just happen in the sky and it'd be like, get out. And you'd be like, what? Like I just happened to, and it'll come to you subtly. So
I hate to say this. You do have a just being honest, consciousness of thought that you think about constantly about different things, you formulating ideas, your brain is constantly working. From my understanding in the biblical sense, the voice of, you're not supposed to be able to hear the voice of God. His voice is supposed to like shatter your eardrums or whatnot. Y'all correct me on that. I know y'all gonna come for me anyway. But yeah, from my understanding, she's saying that she's being able to break down the voice of God. Is it not your consciousness at the same time, or is it exactly the voice of God? I'm just very curious about that.
That's how you kind of can hear and tell.
Interesting.
And it's not loud. It's very subtle.
And with your ex-husband, you guys had a kid together or no?
We didn't.
No?
We didn't, but I did have a baby, and that's her papa. And one thing I will say is I commend them for him for that, because when we split, he never left her life.
Oh wow!
Because he's been around her for the last decade. So she's 12, and he came when she was 2.
Okay.
And so yeah, he has been.
So he came into your life when you had a 2-year-old, became the stepfather. You leave him unbeknownst, and then he's still in that child's life. That sounds like a good guy. What was wrong with him? I think this woman literally just wanted to be on demon time and wanted to live her life being a pastor, or maybe a freaky pastor, because it sounds like she got little things behind the scene that bust her down. She probably uses God to justify that also.
And amazing in that regards. I couldn't take nothing away from him.
Your daughter now's 12. When she was 2, or before you met your husband, what about her father? Was he around in her life? What was that relationship like?
Okay.
He has been absent. He had been he's around though. They have a relationship. She's old enough to call, text, and so now they do have that relationship. Anytime he would come, I would make sure that they had that time to go spend, and I would leave her with him. And so at the beginning he was kind of there, but I already knew because when I got pregnant with her, God told me that he wasn't my husband. And I just broke the relationship off. And so
while you're pregnant?
Yeah. No, when I found out I was pregnant, I was like, "Hey, God said you're not him," and I was like, "But he's never been on child support, never had." When I say he had a beautiful situation, because I told God one of the things that I did struggle with, and this is I don't think everybody, this is unedited, cold hard raw information that I struggled with the idea of aborting. And so I was riding around in a Mercedes, and every time it went up $500, I had the $500 in the dashboard. Young girl doing her thing. So,
look at the host, bruh. Look at the host. I'm just going to be honest. This woman literally, she got pregnant. She said, "You know what? God told me you're not the husband. I'm out." What is this? This is crazy, man.
So I think it had got up to like $2,500 just riding around. The dad came, walked me to the abortion door, flew out here, took me to the abortion door for the appointment, and then shut the door and said, "I preach against this. Why would I let you do it?" And so God said, and then I repented, and I prayed and prayed and prayed. And my baby is like the greatest blessing ever. When I say her story is amazing, she has an amazing story. She's a miracle child anyway, because a little bit before that, doctor said I couldn't have kids.
Oh, wow.
Okay. We're going to leave that at that point. That's a lot to unpack, man. And I wish you would have went into depth on exactly why she left her husband. Like I said, I don't think it was nothing too bad when it comes down to probably physical abuse, a lot of habitual cheating. She didn't mention none of that, because if that was the case, most women always mention that I was getting abused and I just didn't want that type of stress on me. She didn't mention any of that. She left because she just wanted to leave, just being honest. It wasn't no infidelity. This woman just wanted to do her thing. She wanted to go ahead and get in certain atmospheres. She wanted to get around the money. This woman is very, very money driven. While being a pastor, she was stated that she constantly loves to formulate ideas to make more money. So that's really what she think about, man. She's just more worldly than she thinks she is.
So I was telling you earlier that I did a mastermind with some millionaires. And so they were going to go ride the fast cars at Speedway. And I got to ride a Ferrari, but I asked the speaker. That was one of the things that he was like, "Oh, we have some adventures." And I was like, "Well, do you think I can come to one?" He said, "Yeah, pick any one you want to go, and we'll add it to what we're doing for you." And I was like, "Great." And so I got to be in the house and eat chef. Like they had a chef and all this stuff. And he was like, man, "Listen, you get to do the whole experience just because you're a part. And just because I said yes to him, it's all about asking. You don't have because you don't ask. All I got to do is say, hey, do you think I could get a media pass to come in and just sit down and watch some of the information, I'm sure they'll say yeah. Chances are most people don't say no.
The lady is amazing, and it's great that it's
okay. I wanted to piece that part in because she said they're not going to say no. Usually women have an easier chance getting indoors than men. Don't get me wrong. I think you should ask, because even as a guy, it's a possibility you might be able to get in the door if you ask. But this woman is definitely driven by the lifestyle. The money she said about being around millionaires, the guy she probably was with, who she married, she literally just sounded like she was becoming the man that she wanted. Literally, that's what it was. And I think this woman is going to be destined to stay single, because the guys in the circles that she's trying to get around, they're probably not going to want to make her a main, especially if she uses God as certain criteria points. Because guess what? Those guys who are higher up the totem pole, let's say he cheats on you. Now you're gonna throw religion out there. So now you got two conflicting things in your life that's gonna have you battling. You got the want for financial gain and wanting to be higher on the totem pole, but then you also have the want to be closer to God. And then you can manipulate both to make both of them fit in your world. That's scary. That's why I feel like most of the time women use religion as a coping method to cope with all the bad decisions that was made throughout life. I hate to say it, y'all. Like I said, I'm not trying to bash women in religion. I love people who find religion and really want to change their life. But when it comes down to when you use it as a way to weaponize it for your own mistakes and to justify them, that is scary. That's a whole nother being right there. And I hate to say it, a lot of us out there, a lot of people, we create that reality in our heads, and then we walk throughout life and we project that onto other people and make it like it's okay, instead of being called out yourself as to what you're doing. No, God got me. God, I'm walking in faith. I'm walking in my purpose and my path, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about this segment. This was crazy to me. If y'all, I'm gonna link the channel so y'all can watch the whole thing in its entirety, so y'all can get even more context to her character as to how she's so driven into money the whole nine. But man, that part about her marriage, on how she left, a lot of women do that. A lot of women trying, they already planning their exit strategy. A lot of y'all living with y'all enemy and y'all still trying to be right by him or treat him sweet, but he's the enemy next to you. You don't even like him. You sitting right there sleeping next to him. You even letting him get in your guts and you don't like him. She said she was still doing her wifely duty. That man was still busting it down. And you don't even like him anymore. That's crazy. People do better. Y'all like the video, comment below. This is JayBReacts. Until next time, y'all. Peace.